How do you start a winning pitch for your business? My advice is often very different to what most pitch coaches are sharing, but let me dive in and explain more. If you've watched or listened to my recent podcast where I was live pitch coaching Jenny Reed from Excellence in English, then you would have seen exactly how I approach putting together a pitch based on your core offer. But the part that was missing was the introduction. Lots of people have asked me, what is the best way? And there is no best way. What you do need to consider, however, is who are you pitching to? Who exactly is it that you're trying to get the attention of in the audience? And what exactly do you want them to do? What's the purpose of your pitch? Knowing those two things will change everything. Do not start to think about your introduction before you know who it is exactly that you're trying to get the attention of and what exactly you want them to do as a result of hearing your pitch. So you want to, in your very first line, in your opening, call them out. Say, hey, you over there in the blue shirt, I'm talking to you and I've got something that's really interesting that you want to pay attention to. That's really the purpose of your first line. And typically you have 7 seconds to get their attention, particularly these days. People are on their phone, they're distracted, they are still processing the last pitch or presentation they might have heard. So you need to be able to get their attention quickly. What is it that they are interested in about what you have to offer? Why should they pay attention over the next 30 seconds, 5 minutes, however long your pitch is going to be? What's in it for them? And that's what you really want to get across. So there's often the advice to start with a bang, say something controversial, say a big number. And yes, these things can work. But personally, I like to call out my ideal clients by telling them, hey, I'm like you, I'm on the same page, I get it. For example, if you work in insurance and you have a new approach or a way to bring down the cost of insurance premiums, then you could open with, insurance premiums are on the rise again. What's worse? And then everybody in the audience who is feeling the same way is going to think, yes. And that's what you want. You want your opening line to have your ideal client thinking, yes, she gets me. We're on the same page. We're alike, and getting that connection straight away. Then bring in something controversial. So insurance premiums are on the rise again, and what's worse, and really add something else in there. That's why I'm here to tell you about whatever. So it's a really nice, simple, engaging way to start your presentation. Once you've got past that initial hello and introduction, then what do? There are two things that I recommend to my clients here. And that is, firstly, either to share your founder story, or secondly, to share your mission statement. And these are similar. You can kind of bring them all together in one great story that explains why you have started your business, why you found the solution that you have, what you really care about, why are you bringing this to the marketplace, what's your vision for the change that you want to create, and maybe some of the challenges. I thought this was going to be easy. I started doing this and then I discovered, and that's why I'm here giving you this so that you can take this away. Here's exactly how I do it, which is then the core pitch that we did in the podcast. So if you haven't listened to that podcast, go and check that out. It's episode 169. You can go and find that easily on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So that's what I recommend. Start with an introduction that gets their attention because they relate to it and they're thinking in their mind, yes, I like this person. They get me. We're alike. They're on the same page. But then bring in that twist, that hook, that complication that's going to really grab their attention and explain the benefit of listening on. Then share your vision, your founder story, your mission statement, something that takes them from that point to where you are today. And this is how I do what I do. This is why we approach it this way, and the benefits. See the podcast. And then you want to conclude with, so I am looking forward to helping you get the same results, and your call to action. So you always want to have a call to action at the end, even if it's not selling something, it's asking, what do you think? I'd love your feedback. If you want to discuss this further, come and find me. Whatever you want them to do next, be explicit about that next action as well. That's it. Nice and simple, very relatable, very story based, which is always very engaging and memorable. I hope that helps. And one thing to not do in your introduction, this is probably very useful. Do not say, oh, I'm really happy to be here. Good morning. My name is, I'm from wherever, and I'm here to talk to you today about this. Boring. They don't care. They don't really care who you are, where you come from, how long you've been in business, anything like that, what school you went to. They don't care. They may care about that later. First, they want to know what's in it for them. Why should I pay attention? So skip that. By all means, give your introduction and then say, so I'm Melitta and I want to show you today, whatever. You can bring that in later if you like as a sort of segue point, but don't open with your name, function, anything like that. It really is a wasted opportunity. And those people who are still processing the last presentation, checking their phone between sessions, you're not going to grab their attention.